Yo, word up to the real ones. Alright. So, yeah. The fuck? I don't know if you're still filming, but my phone's almost dead. But we're gonna film something. Come to the realization that I think maybe what I'm saying is of value to some people, because I suspect I have a mindset that is quite different than most people. And certainly I know I trap myself in many ways. And the largest way being I just lost my train of thought, to be honest. For some reason I don't even want to talk. Anyways, I'm gonna just start filming every day, sharing my journey. I'm gonna use this as like a journal, to be honest, because I think that is most important. And yeah, I think surrendering to the act of not being perceived any certain way is a very powerful act. So I'm not gonna continue to do that. This past year, to be honest, has been one of the most difficult years of my life in the most beautiful way. So again, I got laid off from my job late 2023, and I wanted to go all in on what I thought was online business and pursue my dreams. And still here a year later, I'm still pursuing them. The caveat is I don't believe I'm whole in this moment because I have to subside some risk that I've incurred, debt that I've incurred separate of my property that pays for itself, but personal debt. And that scares me a bit. That is against my ethos. But I want to just tell myself I'm still worthy. And also, too, I believe that, like, no, in an ideal world, you don't go into debt to create a business, because the problem is when you're creating a business, you don't actually know what works, you don't know what systems work, you don't know what offer works, and you really don't know how to start a business. And I've had to learn or tell myself that. Sorry, I got an email. I've had to tell myself that many a times, but regardless, I think the cost that I'm incurring, even the interest on this debt that I'm incurring to be able to still embody full time the pursuing of my dreams and creating these systems and learning through these failures of business, I think are going to outweigh any interest on that debt. That's where I'm at now. And I want to be frank too. Like, I'm here in this moment, I have that debt. Big part of me is personal finance based. Like, I love Graham Stephan, Dave Ramsey type foundations. Although, Graham Stephan, there's caveats to debt, and I think good debt is good. And that's why, even so, like, this category of credit card debt that I have right now, again, I had built $100,000 credit limit and and over an 800 credit score. Honest to God's truth. And when I got to a point where I didn't have any cash left on this journey, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna use the credit card debt. And I believe, though, that in my certain specific case, like, the wall that it's pushed me up against, the lion that's made me chase, that debt of the lion chasing me, is almost positive in the sense of forcing you to take the actual necessary steps in what it takes to start a business, let's say. So in that case, it's like, no, overtly, this is not tied to an asset and good debt. So you need to be very careful when you blend the lines. But no, ultimately I stand by those values, and I am a debt-free type of person. Like, the next phase of me with cash flow is getting rid of this, getting back an emergency fund, and buying things in cash, and really optimizing. Yeah, we don't need to get into that. But so, anyways, I've strayed far from the personal finance gap in the pursuit of um, the building Gavyn, and it's got me torn into two different identities. But I think blending that and realizing right now and accepting this, telling this, liberating myself. I don't like saying that to you. I think that's crazy that um, I have credit card debt, a good amount, and my credit score has dropped. But I know it's leading me somewhere uh, better. And you can judge all you want. You can, like, honestly, you have a valid right to. But separate of that too. So I have that. I'm fixing that. I want to liberate myself. That's what I'm telling you. To be honest. And so there's that. And then part of my identity, because I have built and intertwined myself into my family's identity. This property, I care a lot about this property. I have an amazing office, a good living situation. You could almost put me into this category of, like, I just assist my mom in as many ways as possible at this point in my journey, because, well, she, basically what I'm saying is, I don't feel as though I'm fully embodying my life dynamic, because I'm still entrenched in the dynamic of not being controlled, but, like, okay, right now, to be honest, look, I got the property, used all my money to make this the best possible as I can, used all my money building a business, and I'm in this spot where I have nothing to show for the business. So, like, people probably think I'm crazy. People don't actually believe me. Maybe there's a belief in the back of my mind that I don't believe myself. So, and that shows in some ways, in the ways that I react and this and that, which isn't overtly good. So there's still systems that need to be healed from within. But anyways, here in this living dynamic, my mom covers the excess that isn't covered with my tenant. She's getting a better rate than she would at any apartment, and the goal for her once I refinance is a virtually free living situation anyways, but ultimately that's not the case right now, and I just don't have the funds to cover monthly right now. But I feel like I'm justified in some way, because I've proven myself to be of service. I've proven myself to build this foundation. And yeah, it is a weird position, because, like, I'll eat the food that she gets, but I'll always cook it. I'll always make sure the house dynamic is good. I'm always helping out with my siblings, helping out her in as many ways as possible, because she ultimately is providing a service for me. And then so the end goal vision is I'm making cash flow, debt free, have funds again, and say I'm living on my own. How I'll probably do it is I will go short-term Airbnbs, because when I traveled to Costa Rica, I kind of learned a little bit more about how I want to travel and like what to do when. But I'll probably just do Airbnbs for a bit, experiment with locations, and then if I like a location, do an Airbnb for a longer stint, a month to 3 months, making sure it's a good Airbnb with the right dynamic for me to be able to focus and stuff like that. And then if I really like an area, lease an apartment, maybe a furnished apartment, and then after that, maybe furnish something if I really like the thing. But did you see how it all dips the toes further in? The end goal for property is doing another property like this that I have, which is a house hack apartment above the garage, and I'd like to live in the apartment above the garage, furnish that and basically have that as a home base that's covered all the time. And then the house that I rent out covers everything. So separate of that, I don't feel as though I'm embodying that full leader, that full can make any decision at a whim's notice, because it's like right now I'm just trying to get a win with the business and I have no other option. And it's like, yeah, there is that fear of like, fuck, I would potentially, if I don't ever figure out how to make money, I have to go back to a job, let's say. And I just like, I've come so far that I can't get myself to do it. And not that there's anything bad with that, because ultimately, like, what I also realized, and I think a lot of people miss this on their journey, is like the independence, the healing of their trauma. Okay, so getting an emergency fund, being debt free, having a car paid off, being out of an environment that triggers you is all going to help you on your journey to building a business. And certainly I've always tried to do that, but now we're here back in this. Like, I went to Costa Rica, I thought that was the answer, but I didn't end up learning how to make money, so I came back, and then I just kept going, but it was back to triggers. And it's a hard dynamic, let's say that, for the least. But also too, like, I'm not a victim, it's all just a thought. If I can remind myself of that daily, I'm not a victim, it's all just a thought. These beliefs that I have about myself, ultimately, let's be confident in the ability that I have, what I've created, what I am creating, me being able to endure these things. And the first phase of business with Elite Evolution was like, just, hey, I want to share this spiritual knowledge, and then building a funnel, a shitty funnel, then paying somebody a lot of money to learn about funnels, and then building Elite Evolution as a brand, learning e-commerce and drop shipping, and then like learning how to use an ad or create an ad, what a VSL is, and the fuck was I gonna say? What I was gonna say is Elite Evolution. It's I forget what I was gonna say. But anyways, that all transitioned to like me having a community, and ultimately, like, I came to the realization too, is like community coaching, it's like all fake entrepreneurship. Like, until you really have I think people are too soon trying to become those things and create those things without having the backing of what it actually takes to have a successful one. That's certainly what happened in my case. But separate of that, like, just learning everything, cultivating relationships, and right now rebuilding from scratch essentially my business model with a different offer, a different service, a much better offer and service, much easier to fulfill. And we're just starting from scratch, so I really want to make sure the testimonials are locked in to the fullest capacity. And I realized too, like, I don't like coaching really long term. I did that. I don't fuck with that. So like, yeah, just realizing the boundaries and dynamics that are happening in the future. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, every day I wake up and it's like, I feel like right now everything is opposite of what it should be. Like, my sleep is shit, my body is shit right now. I fucked up my lower back, so I'm trying to heal that. But it's like I'm not optimized, so it's like I'm always in my mind trying to strive for that optimized version of Gavyn. And I know that's a bad thing, because it's really doing in the moment and healing in the moment. So that's why I believe consciousness is everything. But what I'm trying to say is, like, it's so odd. Like, for instance, like, I know I said this in my last video, I said a few of these things already, but like, why don't you have fun? Why don't you do this? Like, when I was in Costa Rica, I was doing that, I was fully optimized. But now here, it's like I'm in this lifestyle, so like I'm programmed to just like do stay around the family, this, like, for some reason I don't feel capable in this moment with my dynamic to attract the girl that I desire, let's say right now. And it's funny too because I feel like I've taken 10 times more action than anybody around me, but you'd think my life almost looks less developed than those people. You know, they have partners, they have pets, they have kids, they have the car, but it's almost like I'm trying to tear this from the foundation. It's like if I really just start making money with a service that I can fulfill to people online, it's like that's really what I've been holding out for, and that's really that's what I've been doing and learning. And I guess maybe just people don't learn that, and I don't know, it's like weird because my fucking back hurts really bad. It's just weird though because, like, you know, I am still insecure about the car that I drive. I drive around in a shitty van. It's like I haven't proved that I make enough money to get a car. And then, you know, but before that, I want to get rid of the debt. I want to get the emergency, so I want to build it back the correct way. I want to buy the car in cash. So I'm still driving around in a car that I don't, you know, want to. But then again, too, it's like those people that you want, fucking, you don't want them to fucking be attached to materialistic things. And then separate of the car is like, you know, I don't think in this dynamic I would bring in a partner in this dynamic of my life right now. And then also I'm trying to heal my body so I can show up to the best of my ability. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It's just like, I feel like everybody else is living life and I'm just not. And because I've been manipulated by fear for so long, I think is really what I'm getting at. And it's like, yeah, do fun stuff, but I need money to do fun stuff, you know, which I don't have. It's like, okay, get a job and get money, but I can't surrender with this, how far I've come. So it's like, I've almost signed up for like just building, not doing shit. So like right now, all I care about is healing my body and making income. And also, it almost makes it worse too, because you're in the state of fear with the business. So it's like actually working whilst doing something like that and building is more effective. And like, the big thing I can say too is like we get manipulated. I was manipulated by like the beautiful life that you see. But in reality, if you just have a high value skill, like even if it's an in-person thing, like create a landscaping fucking business, create a mechanic business, and then scale it and systemize it, and that will create the freedom. That's really what I'm learning in this moment. And I just don't want to show up any fragmented way. And like, you know, a lot of 90% of my journey is like trying to heal from these things, but I don't know as if I'll ever be fully healed, which isn't a bad thing. But I know that I want to show up with conviction at full capacity at 100%, and I want to have good, loving energy, and I know that's going to take work, and the reason I say that is like, you know, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm going to keep filming. I don't even know how I'm going to film, what I'm going to film. You can see my journey's crazy, up and down. I've tried so many fucking things. And we're just going to share my fucking journey. I don't know. I'll post as much as I can. Just going to share, let go of this shit, let go of this baggage. I am worthy. It's like also too, like when I feel controlled by family members, specific family members that like really create a lot of stress for me, it's like I almost feel like, you know, something happens with, say, a family member, and then I need to fix it and control it. And then it's like, how can I bring a partner in if I can't even, how can I have a girlfriend and be fully myself if I can't even show up fully in front of them? And so it's also too like my journey of really detaching from everybody And I go overboard in a fear-based way. Like, there's a lot of things I can't do with people that I'd like to, because I just want to live a different life than them, and I am living a different life. And it's like almost too, like I'm almost 27. Like, where the fuck did the time go? And that's another thing. And where the fuck did the time go? But the crazy thing is since 2018, when I was 21, I was, I had my first spiritual awakening and started learning about this stuff. It's not like I have wasted anything. I mean, if people in my family were to, like, talk about Gavyn, they'd say, like, Gavyn's on the ball, Gavyn's done his thing. But where did it go? I'm saying, in college, maybe I just didn't believe I was good enough. And, worked bartending, saved cash, got debt-free. That was really awesome. And then after college, got a job, tried to create an LLC, didn't know shit, whatever, learned from that, got a job, worked it, fucking hated it. I was fragmented from who I thought I was supposed to be, and, I fucking hated it. Made a little bit of money, saved up like $100K, and then in 2022, bought my property. But it still had lingering issues with, my dad, and just some things that I need to heal from. And so 2022 comes around, I buy my property, learn a lot, have an amazing tenant. But the contingency was, it's for my mom. She's living in it. And with that being said, I had not a small gift. Like, I put, $80,000 into the property, but I had a sizable gift from a family member with the contingency of this being the case. So now we're here in this. So proud of this. Learned so much about this. And then in 2023, like, which I would have been 25, I go all in, business, travel, learn. I'm grateful for that. Learned, got my heart broken, and then still building, learned all the failures in business, and then, but also too, like, really getting to a point where you have no other option, as I really think, which I never got to until a few months ago, because, when I got home from Costa Rica, I didn't have much money, but I had the opportunity to collect unemployment, and that really just gives you a little more, whatever, I don't care. I'm having a little bit of income. And then same with that is, like, getting off of all subsidized health insurance, getting my own health insurance, and then, like, just, like, slowly weaning off all this stuff, all the help. And I think that really does wonders with your psyche, because it pushes you to a fucking wall. Learning, like, I was pursuing my passion, now I have no choice. I need to pursue something that's valuable. So you can see the difference in those different aspects of your journey. And I don't know how to explain it, but weaning off and getting to a point where, like, all this is leading up to, I've had a high ticket sale before. I've created relationships with people smarter and making more money than me, and just, like, all this to mean that I've had people around me that I've supported from the beginning pop off on social media and, like, do amazing things, and I'm still figuring it out. And but it's just all weaning it off and creating the dynamic. So what is that dynamic? Well, I desire to be able to fund the lifestyle and share the fun with you guys, and live and automate it in a sense where I don't need to worry about certain things, and that'll come as the income comes, as the foundation is rebuilt again. That will come from building this. So it's like all this is the pillar, and really is facing your fucking demons, and which I never did. So also too, like, getting back to really practicing, because I asked this question in one of my friends' communities yesterday. I'm like, well, how do you, like, you can learn the answer with theoretical knowledge. I've read all the books, yada yada yada, but that's not the actual answer. But it doesn't matter, because, like, you still have to do it. So realizing, like, well, I haven't put a lot of time into meditation or reading. I just, like, I'm on this high horse of thinking I know it, but actually practicing these things, to starting to heal, because I think the core answer is realizing that consciousness is all, and having conviction in a state of uncertainty, who you are, not being a victim, not embodying imposter syndrome, expressing yourself fully, accepting yourself fully, and getting to a place where you have no other option and can take massive risk and are taking massive risk. So, as they all line up in a way, and no, I wouldn't have been able to sustain this dynamic if I didn't have some leverage in the aspect of like, well, I did create the dynamic for this property. I am a big player in how this property is managed, and we have an amazing team. So I also want to shout out my mom, my siblings. Like, they're a big part of this journey, and I probably don't tell them that enough. But regardless of that, like, yeah, I don't fucking know. So I'm gonna end with that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We're gonna surrender to the moment. And I have no expectation. I don't want to grow on social media. I don't want to fucking be perceived a certain way. I want to share whatever the fuck I want. I don't care about any judgment. I don't want to care about any judgment. Surely I'm telling you this, and maybe I have lingering feelings like that, but that's really my journey, is embodying myself fully, seeing how that unfolds, and providing value to people in a loving way. And giving grace. Give yourself grace, giving myself grace. But anyways, I gotta go. So I'll talk to you soon. Peace.